Hi everyone, my name is Shivani Sharma. I'm a National Head at Medi Assist. Good to be here today. Just wanted to take some time off and talk to some of you about my experiences over the last, I think around 20 years of working across industries and what I felt as a woman and what I know as a woman and what I see as a woman. I think one of the basic questions that all of us get asked all the time is, what is the main challenge that you see as in your career, and how did you overcome it and how did you reach here? I think if you ask me, I think where I've reached today, and I have a lot of gratitude for it. One of the things that I've always faced, I don't know, is it being a woman or I would have felt as a man as well, is when you have to, you have to actually amalgamate leadership with empathy, right? A lot of times there is an empathy that you've learned as a human and there is an expectation as a leader. Sometimes they don't match, and then you have to think through. You still have to take those tough decisions because that's your job. That's what you are there for, and that is right for the organization. So I think that's one of the challenges I feel, and the reason I feel, I talk about it the most. Well, I think as a woman I feel that a lot of gap, but I've learned to overcome it. I've found a way in which I take my peers, my bosses, my teams along with me. I explain to them why I'm like this, what am I taking this decision for. I think transparency, I think sometimes just communication is so important that it helps you in just making that decision easy. While it's a tough decision, but it becomes easy. I think that's my significant challenge that I've always faced, and I think some of you would probably resonate with it as well. At Medi Assist, what am I proud of? I'm proud of a lot of things. I think in the last decade, there are enough things that I have seen, done, executed, which have really made me proud. But I think one thing that I especially hold in my heart, which is something that I find myself and give a lot of motivation to myself, is when all the teams that I hired when I joined a decade back, and today they are the next gen leaders. I think when I see them succeeding, when I see them doing what I would have done and sometimes better than me, I think that is my proudest moment, when I see my team succeeding in things which is just nice. I think another question that we always get asked, and what I think I should talk about, is how do you balance your personal life and work life? Tricky one, honestly, if you ask me. I'm a mother of two, one a teenage son, very difficult, one 10-year-old reaching there, and a family which is God gifted, and I'm very thankful for it, with a dog. And I think the way I prioritize, I really prioritize, and I've learned to ignore, and I know it's not a nice thing to say, but I have learned to ignore things which is not going to change my life in any aspect or my family's life, right? Sometimes you just have to let go of things which are not going to impact, and be there for the things which impacts. I think if you're able to bifurcate that well, I think it works. Yes, it's very difficult. Yes, there are enough things that pulls you saying, no, this is important for you, whether it's society pressure, whether it's your own pressure, whether it's on your mother's guilt, right? But I think you just still have to prioritize, and you have to be there where it matters to you the most, not to anybody else, to you the most, which makes you happy, which makes kids happy, which makes everybody happy. I think that's how I see it. What's inspired me the most, and what I've reached here and gained, and how I've reached here, I think who's inspired me? Honestly, different people at different times. And whether it's a peer, whether it's a boss, whether it's a situation, I think inspiration comes from anywhere. And for me, it has come from different people. I really value them in life. Every time I meet them, I remind them that this is what they've taught me. I still learn every day, whether from a client, whether from my boss, whether from my peer, and sometimes from my kids. I think inspiration comes from everywhere. So I don't have one person who's like really motivated me and all that. I think I find my energy and my motivation from different people at different points of time, and that's always worked for me. I think what has influenced your approach to leadership, and that's what works. Honestly, one of the questions that I'm always asked, and one of my friends and a dear friend asked me this 3 weeks back, and she said something I was actually talking about and saying that I feel this should happen and all. She said, what have you done as a woman in a leadership role for them? And it really made me thinking. I don't think because I always believe that why do you treat me differently when I'm one of you? But I think there is a need. There is a need that we should treat women leaders differently, not because I want to differentiate them. I think you should put them in the same race. But it's just that because they bring different qualities on the table. I think I should empower them, and I should give them a message very clearly saying that you are yourself when you be yourself the most. And that is when you have the maximum impact. So what they bring on the table, I think, is the whole resilience, the communication power, just the ability to get everybody on the table to discuss something. And that is so important as a leader, because you can't make a decision if you're not able to get 10 people in a room to talk about it. And I think that is the biggest quality that I see in women leaders, which frankly I see a lot lacking in the other gender. And I think, so my advice to them is only one, saying make your own seat on the table. If there is none, carry your own table, but sit on the table, right? It's important. It's important to voice out your opinions. It's important to believe in what you say. It's important to not underplay yourself, right? And it's very difficult because we're born with some of these things very inherently, especially our generation. I'm hoping we are doing a better job with our daughters and sons. But yes, I think that would be my only advice, and I'm only trying to do that for the women leaders in my teams. I'm only trying to tell them, do what you think is right in the manner that it works for the organization, and still don't lose your sense of yourself. So yeah, I think that's what I actually tell them. Other than this, have I seen this happening? Honestly, yes. Referring back to your question on mentors and your question on leaders, I think I've had 2-3 leaders, and I've been fortunate enough to work with 2-3 women leaders who have really helped me in shaping the way I think. Yes, there are men leaders who've also helped me in making sure that I remain like that. But yes, I think that's where it is. And they've just, one of the challenges that they've always helped me in overcoming, and especially women leaders, is how to deal with different opinions, how to deal with different people, how to ensure that you still get one common goal achieved. So yeah, that's what I would just say as a woman leader. Be yourself and party when you're working. That's all. And I think that's the best place to be in. Thank you.